everybody, my name is Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. Oh, I just love when I get a new catalog, and I especially love when it has Christmas stuff in it. Even though it's August and I am a summer girl, I'm going to do this little Christmas card, and then I'm going to go out to the pool for a little bit. But I love when we have this catalog because there's always so much fun stuff to create in it for all of us. So before we get going on today's tutorial, I'm going to show you a couple of things. One, you have a couple more days if you would like to participate in my online card club. So you can go to this tutorial. This month we're using Country Woods and the Petal Pink ribbon and the metallic, I don't remember what they're called, some kind of metallic gems for card club. And then my members can add on the birdhouse, country birdhouse set at no charge. So this explains totally how my online card club works. It's a subscription. It's the least expensive thing that I offer as far as an online class where you get product. This is this month, because there's 2 sets in this suite, they can add on this one if they want an additional project. This isn't the project, but you'd be able to make it once you add on the stuff. This also uses my new shimmer technique. So if you haven't seen that, it's where, and I'm going to use a little bit of it on today's card, so I won't take long. I am going to get a playlist together that has the shimmer things on it, but you can see every piece of paper on this card, it has been shimmered. So we're going to do a little bit of that today. And then so I told you I was going to do stamp first when I did my unboxing. If you didn't see the unboxing, go watch that because there's so much stuff. The paper and the ribbons, they knocked it out of the park in this catalog. But I told you that I loved this suite that I'm going to use now, and I was going to use it first. And I did, and I stamped and I made today's project first, but then when I went to film this morning, I had done this one second, and this stuff was all laid out. So I thought, I'm not going to clean this all up. Well, I don't clean it up. I move it all to the side, but I wasn't going to switch. It seemed like a waste of, 20 minutes when I could spend that 20 minutes later in the pool. So I did this card. So this uses some of the new papers, new embellishments, and 2 new stamp sets and 1 new die set. So that is up if you missed it. So then what I'm going to do today, first off, if you don't have the catalog, I can't show you the inside yet. I will do a walkthrough when it is time. I think it goes live on the 6th. Let me see if it has the date on it. The 4th. So September 4th, you can start ordering from it. I will do a walkthrough then that morning. I'll do it before, so it'll be posted as soon as I'm allowed to post it on September 4th. If you don't have a demonstrator and you're in the US and you've not gotten a catalog, go to my website. It explains all the different ways that you can get a catalog there. But every time there is a new catalog, I do what's called a try it class. So go to this video. This is actually one of the projects from my upcoming try it class. You can see it's like a little easel. This uses, I think it's called Nests of Winter. This is the suite I didn't show you in the unboxing because I already had it. So you can go find out about it. In this card class, we will do 10 projects together. Each one will have a video and they'll all have a PDF. And so then you get to try, like you'll have at least 10 new papers, probably 12 if I can get the specialty papers on. Like today's has a little bit of a specialty paper added. You'll get to use all the embellishments and all the ribbons as you create the projects together. Then you are left with this PDF. And I've done several of these classes now. In fact, I think that I'm going to do like a bulk offering of all of the PDFs. So if you're interested in just getting that for the last few years, I might do them based on kind of catalog. I don't know. I haven't thought through. And it won't be in summer because pool time. So this is the one I did last year. So the 2023 holiday catalog from last year. But my intent is, you can see you get all the projects, measurements, instructions, and then they have links back to the videos. So you always have access to those. But my intent is, when you get this PDF, is that you continue to use it in the future. So I know there's 2 types of you. I know there's the type that refer back to the PDF, and I know there's the type who just keep your original card and don't give them away. So you can do it either way. So this was project 1. From last holiday catalog. We just start at the beginning of the catalog and we work our way through. So this was project 1. Oops, come on. It has the measurements, it has the instructions, and then it has the picture. I also happen to have this one, which is part of the reason I give a lot of them away. So here's the card. that we did last time. So all 10 cards will either be a template. This is more of a template, or a fun fold. The first one I showed you, this one right here, is more of a fun fold. They'll all be one or the other. And I used to do more fun folds, but then y'all told me you like the templates because they're a little bit easier. There's no stamping. So this is what I'm going to use. I'm going to remake this exactly with a brand new suite. You want to see the suite that I'm going to use? So I'm using Sentimental Wishes. The only thing different about this particular card is that I'm going to stamp. In the class, we won't do any stamping. And here is the paper. I just love this paper because I made the shepherd's card, and at first glance through the catalog, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to use the shepherd, but it doesn't really match this paper, and I am in love with this paper. So we'll kind of see how it works. I don't know if that's the piece. No, it's not. It's upside down. So I'll show you the paper real quick. And you can see where I've already cut mine. It just is a great nostalgic paper. This one would be a great scrapbook page. I've already cut mine, and I love this piece of like candy cane paper and the bows. This is my very favorite piece. I did not put it on the project because what happens in Try It class is I get a favorite piece and I kind of get stuck on it, and I want y'all to have it. So I didn't want to cut into this in case I decide that's what I want to use. That way I'd have a couple of extras. I buy so much paper for this class. Did I show them all to you? The Christmas trees in here. There's also this one, I guess. So when I do the class, I try to get as many. Yeah, that's gorgeous. And this one wouldn't have to be Christmas, you know, if you're done. So in Try It class, if we did this same card, we'd probably cut these presents and trees out and use those instead of the stamping. But once you have the PDF, then you can stamp whatever you want onto those. So let's make this. I'm going to use my little shimmer technique. So for that, you can go watch the video to get all the details. But this is what's left from yesterday when I did it because it doesn't dry up. So it's glycerin and a wink of Stella. This was about half glycerin, maybe a little less than half, and then about half of a wink of Stella. And I have shimmered and shimmered and shimmered and shimmered things with it. So I'm going to open this up. I use my block. You can use a glass mat. You could use a smaller block if you don't have the big one, but the big one gives you lots of space. And then I am just going to take my papers, all of these first. Now let's do this one first because I want it to have a second to dry. So this is where I'm going to stamp. And then this is the same blending brush. I have just used the blending brush over and over. So I know that you can squirt. I know that we spray. I've done lots of spraying with the alcohol and the shimmer or the wink of Stella. This is much more controlled. Like there's no overspraying. I don't have to worry about my little shimmer thing getting clogged up. And it just adds that. So I want you to notice right now how that paper looks darker than that paper. It's because it's wet with the glycerin, but it will dry. You can also, in that one video I showed you, you can paint with your dried up blends using this technique. So on these, I'm not going to do the whole thing because I think when you just do part, it actually makes it a little bit easier to see that it's on there. And then this one's going to get cut this way, so I'm just going to go down. But anything that gets over shimmered, you can use it, right? And then this fun candy cane pattern. So I just took my PDF and I just cut everything according to the measurements for the other project. It has where I need to score, which on this one isn't much. Put that there. And then I had a little bit left. And when I added this to this, I thought, oh, the darker cardstocks are so pretty when you shimmer them. So I just took what was left and just kind of run around the edges. And it's not a lot because it's just whatever happened to be left on here. But it's enough to give it a little bit of sparkle. And you don't need to go in because you could see that that was covering it up. So to let that piece of basic beige dry, we're going to go ahead and assemble everything, and then we'll just add the stamped images when we're done. So you're going to take this, add this one here. Where's my adhesive? Sometimes in the Try It class, I will intentionally do 2 different sides because y'all aren't going to get the same piece of paper on some of them. Like if we did one like this and it was a giant piece of, because that is, I only get 12 to a package, so I have to buy so many packages. So sometimes like that green piece that I showed you, it would work as well. So, but then I just give myself a packet. It doesn't, I don't know for sure what packet I'm going to get. So this is a piece of the basic beige, and it's going to make the slipping card. It would be better if I scored it, because when you fold against the grain like that, where's my, here it is right in front of me. So the scoring measurements are in the PDF, but I've already shot it. Then we're going to take this piece and have this here. This one isn't so hard to cover up because it was that big 12 by 12 piece, and it gets hacked up when you cut the smaller pieces. So here's our little insert card. And then I have this triangle that I cut that's going to go here. And then I want this to go on here. So the easiest way to do that is to just grab your paper trimmer. But it does take a second of thinking, because if you do it the wrong direction, then it's you're going to have to use the back side, which isn't horrible on this one, but the trees are prettier. So I want to make sure that I cut this way. So I just line it up so it's going the way that I want, and then I put it in my paper trimmer from this corner to this corner. So just put it in and line your 2 corners up. Because see, if you do it the opposite way, your trees are going to be upside down. So you need to make sure you cut it the right direction. So now we're going to take this. First, let's add this to here. I hope you can see the sparkle. There we go. Add some back up here. And then you're going to want to take your adhesive and just go as close as you can to the edge. This is why my table's always sticky. And probably in class, I would recommend that you use glue or Seal Plus, but I'm not going to use glue because I don't want to waste the time while I'm filming. So this just goes right up here onto that edge. It's peacock on peacock, so you can't even tell really if you get it crooked. And then this will slide in here, so they'll be able to take their card out. Let's go ahead and add our ribbon. So everything in Try It class, I try to keep it together, grouped together as a suite. So all of this that I'm going to use is in this Sentimental Wishes suite. Just going to tie a little bow. I finally bought, and I only get them out because they're whopping huge, but I did buy ribbon scissors, because when you cut as much ribbon as I cut for this class, you want good ribbon. You want some ribbon scissors, and I put them up so nobody in the house ever uses them for something that is not meant to be. I mean, a paper, or, you know, heaven forbid my husband would use them on something hard. But I did invest in those, I think, 2 classes ago. And then the first one I did when I cut it with real things, I didn't have a little blister. So we have this, and I am going to tie a bow. So you want to make sure when you do a bow like this, I don't want it to be giant, and it always looks like, oh, that's way so much ribbon. Give yourself more ribbon than you think you're going to need. And I do that in class too, and make sure you have enough. There's nothing more frustrating than trying to save ribbon and then not being able to tie the ribbon that you have. But you have it like this, and then pull it the direction you want it to go. So I want it to go straight across my card. So if you pull it more that way, then it's going to go that way and not straight up and down. Because sometimes we're not paying attention to how we pull it. See, there's not much waste on that at all. It's really pretty ribbon. It's shaded spruce. So I almost used shaded spruce on the card. Satin and sheer ribbon. So this is going to go in here. Now let's do our stamping. Then we'll come back and add our images. So if this was Try It class, we would cut out the tree here, maybe add this die cut that I'm going to use for you in a second, add the embellishments, and we'd be done. But this isn't Try It class, so I get to use my new stamps. So we're going to take my little piece of shimmer, and see now that as it's drying, the color is just shimmery. It's not dark like the other one was. I'm going to use Memento. And pull this back out. So we want to do stamp the inside. I try in, especially in card club and in classes, to stamp the inside if I remember. So here's the little holly. Just add that there. And then we have, I love the font on this stamp set because it's nice and vintage. I don't remember what it says. Hang on. Have a very Merry Christmas. Isn't that a great font? Very vintage. So that is that, but I am going to do a little bit of coloring in there. And then we have the candles. And then we have the stocking. So when the paper's still a little wet, this can bleed just a tiny bit. I would recommend, if you're doing this, that you give it plenty of time to dry. But I just want to show you that it doesn't have to have a lot of dry time, but it will make your images bleed just a tiny bit. And on this particular stamp, because the images are so fine, you can see where it's bleeding a little bit. And it just kind of depends on where the cardstock's still wet. But I'll show you the other one, because the other one I did on completely dry cardstock. So I told you, if you've watched some of the videos, you can paint with that solution. It takes a little bit longer, and if you're doing Christmas cards, you might not want to take longer. And anyway, my very favorite way to paint is with my Wink of Stella and an ink pad lid. So I'm going to do that because there's not a whole lot of painting on here. There are tiny little images. So this is Daffodil. Some of it I will fast forward, and then if you want to see it all happen so I don't skip it, you can always go to my Instagram, and over there I try to show you because it's sped up. So let's grab a little bit of Daffodil. I tried to make it match the papers, so you can see that's kind of where I got my color combination. On the other one, I didn't use any more Daffodil because I wanted those to kind of be bright, but then afterwards I decided that I wished I had. So I'm going to do this bow right here in Daffodil. So the difference between, if you haven't watched the other one, using the blender pen in the solution as opposed to the Wink of Stella, you know, when you have the stuff coming out of here, I guess I need to turn that right side up. I shouldn't have stamped it upside down. You have one continual flow of liquid. So it goes a little bit faster. So I'm going to clean this off a little bit right there. And then let's do, what other colors do I have? Let's do our beige. I'm going to do the two lightest colors, and then from there we go to reds and then a bunch of greens and blues. So grab a little bit of beige. So the nice thing is, anything on here that I don't color will be shimmery because I did it on the Shimmer cardstock. So I don't have to worry about, missing something, or if I want something to just be the color of the cardstock, you can do that because it has, I don't know what colors I did on these on my other card, but it will be shimmery. And then everything around it will be shimmery. Anything I don't color in will be shimmery. So here's our beige, and I'm going to do real red. This one has a bit more, so I'll show you a couple. I'm going to do the berries here, and then you're going to do every other. On the candy cane, I'm going to do one bow. And then I'm going to color in the stocking. And because I'm going to color in the stocking, I am going to fast forward that bit so you don't have to watch me do them. Okay, there's the red done. And then I'm going to leave the toes and the muff of my stocking just in beige. So this will be the hardest piece to clean, to get this red off because that red's bright. So I'm going to go then to a dark color. So let's do the pretty peacock, because that's a dark color. If there's a little bit of red, see, it's dark, so it will match as well. So let's get a couple of packages. And there's one leaf over here that's not the same leaf as the other, so I'm going to do it in the peacock. So one of the things about using the blender pen in this solution is the blender pen tip is a lot bigger than this tip. This one gives you, it's nice coverage for these tiny little designs. Now let's do shaded spruce. So because it was the color of the ribbon and not the color of the paper, and because it's spruce, I decided to do the little sprucey bits in spruce. They can get a bit lighter because then you can kind of see the stamping behind it. You don't want to cover it up. So just kind of brush it over the top of. That's good. And then we have Old Olive. I'll get the holly berries in the Old Olive. And then let's do this package. Doesn't really matter what you do the packages in. You just don't want, I didn't want them in the spruce because there's already a lot of spruce, and I didn't want them in the red because there's a lot of red. So then I just kind of mixed and matched the other colors. And then we have one more color that is Misty Moonlight, and it's in the paper. So I went ahead and used it for a bow. I think on the other one I might have done a package in it as well. So there we go. Now on the other card I colored the inside of those holly berries that I stamped. I'm not going to do that on this because I'll just show you. But I didn't really color. What I did do was every time I used a color that was in the holly, which was all the greens and the reds, I cleaned my brush off on top of that. Kind of killed two birds with one stone. So I'm going to take the dies that come with this. Let me show you them because they're teensy tiny. They're adorable. So for the most part, what you get are dies that will cut out. See? Teeny tiny. But they cut out the... So there's the bow and the holly, which I'm not cutting out. And then it cuts out, I'll put all those stamp pads on top of it. We can do the stocking, the candles, and then it does come with this little leaf piece. And so this is one of our new glimmer papers that will be in the holiday catalog. I don't know if this is olive or granny apple, but it looks really good with this paper because look at that. But there's two greens, a red, and this, I think there's 4 colors. I don't remember what the other one is, but I'm going to cut that out of that. So let me cut these out. So every year I do a class, the class will be in October, but it will be a free class with purchase if you purchase the suite from me, and then there will be other ways to do it. So right now, this is one of the leading contenders, but I haven't played with the other things. So we'll kind of see. Make sure you're on my email list, and then you can find out if you are a demonstrator and you want to take the class. There will be other ways. You can get the kit, or you can just buy the videos. Last year I did the Oh Holy Night, which turned into lots of logistics because all the stuff went on back order so early on. That's why I like, if you want it free with purchase, you really need to get it as soon as the catalog goes live. So I will let you know the week before the catalog goes live. So I'm just going to stick this on here. I'm going to use some dimensionals. And I'm going to put one here and then one at the bottom. And I want it to have a little bit of bend to it. So when you put it on, just kind of bend it and stick them with a tiny bit. You don't want it to be so it will wrinkle, but the nice thing is the glycerin makes this paper really supple. Pop this on here. I'm going to leave this top one down first, and then just ever so slightly bend that. and then that gives you the bend. But especially because this paper has the glycerin, it's not going to bend when you put it on. Then over here, we will just add some adhesive, and this part will be flat. This would be a nice card to send if you're sending bulk, because it's not bulky, so it shouldn't cost any extra in postage. You could probably just tie a knot there and make it a little less bulky. I'm not sure how you say this. Apparently my daughter knew it was the word druzy. Druzy adhesive backed embellishment. She said, Mom, all the jewelry that I love. I don't remember what brand of jewelry it is, but apparently those are druzy, and I looked it up and it means lots of little crystal points. So there you go. And can I tell you how much I love having an embellishment that isn't just metallic backed adhesive something sparkle sequin. So at least these have a name. So they're a druzy. I feel like sometimes I missed, you used to be young and hip once upon a time and know all the words, and then the next thing you don't. So I'm going to use 3 so you can see they're in silver and gold. So let's put a gold one up here. Remember, it's going to stick down into I'm going to use that to kind of keep my ribbon where I want it to go. And we have that, and I'll show you the stamped one in a second. And then let's do a silver and a gold down here. And do one little silver and one big gold. So before I show you the inside of the other one, here's how it goes. And here is the one I copied from. So it's exactly the same card. You just switch it up with the stuff that you have. And you can do that for anything that I make on my channel. Anything you see in the catalog or anything you watch on somebody else's tutorials. If you get the tutorial bundles that are free every month that I do with other demonstrators, you can do that. You don't have to have the exact same thing. But I love that these PDFs are 10 cards. And so if you sit down to stamp and you don't have a lot of time and you want to create something, you can just pull up that PDF and quickly, I just picked a pattern and I was like, oh, that will be perfect. So that was, you could see the ribbon, the embellishments, the punch that were part of that suite in that particular catalog. So here's the other one. So my packages, I think, are colored different, but otherwise it's basically the same card. And then I'll show you the inside, because you don't want to spend a long time painting this. So you can see I just cleaned off brushes. So nothing's deeply colored. And I thought I should have used my beige to do the branch, but I wasn't that bothered by it. So if you're interested in the class, early bird registration is on now. So you can go to my website, get all the details. It does usually fill. It's not one of my classes that is normally open till the end, but I will close registration. Catalog goes live on the 4th. I have to place an order, and then I have to overnight all the stuff to get it to me. So shipping's pretty hefty on that order. And so September 1st, 2nd, it will close if it hasn't filled by then. But early bird pricing will be over by then. And it will, good news, this particular time is it will be in the mail to you before September 21st, before the 20th, because we leave on vacation, I think the 20th, and then we're gone for the rest of the month. So it will be to you in plenty of time to see it, touch it, feel it, and still order in September. So there you go. If you have any questions, let me know. If there's something else you saw in the catalog unboxing and you want me to use it, I have a couple of other requests, but a lot of them were the shepherd, and this, the village, I think was one that I have not done, but most of them landed on these two. So I know they're going to be your favorites as well. Have a great one. Bye.